guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. A great big shout out to my channel members for supporting my channel. Thank you. All right, so in this video, I'll be talking about my 2023 coloring book journal pages. It might be a little long because I do want to talk about some of the pages with you guys, so you may want to get comfortable. But this is my MaiseLane Co A5 journal. If you've been following me along on my completed coloring pages every month, you've seen this at the end of the video as I check things off, and I will be continuing to do that. Now, I did want to point out something before I get started. I am tracking Olga Rani's Find and Color prompts in here, and because it is such a long list, because I have it since it began, I'm not moving this forward into 2023. I'm just going to continue on here until either I run out of space or Olga Rani finishes this weekly, monthly prompt thing. So currently it is the 16th of January, and so the prompt for the weekly one is monkey or ape. Have not come out, at least that I've seen, for the monthly one, so I'll need to figure that out when it comes. And same with Coloropoly. I will just continue with this here, and then once this is done, then I'll move this over into 2023, because I didn't want to have to keep writing the same information, and honestly it's still warehoused in the same journal, so that's fine. So I did create this cover sheet. This is something I had created on my channel before and wanted to use that. And I don't track a lot of stats, but I wanted to track a few for this year. And so I don't have goals for any of my hobbies. My hobbies are used to help me distress and unwind. And this is something that I had done back in 2022, and I wanted to continue it. And so I will have some coloring book focuses, and that'll just help me every month to make sure that I just get into certain things that are really interesting to me. So by way of books, I do want and continue to want to do a page in an opal book, in an eerie book. I want to do a portrait in the variety of books that I have. I want to do a pencil only page. I do tend to stay away from that because it is quite taxing on my hand, but it's something that I want to make sure that I use my stuff, and having some place to check things off actually helps me with that. I do want to get into a hardback book. I have several, to include Hannah Carlzon, Maria Trolle, and Carla Markova. I think that's the name. I can't see it right now. I do want to do a 10 by 10 book, which could be an eerie book, a pop manga book, Kirby Rosanna's, Joanna Basford. Any of those would count. And if I do an eerie page and I want to count that towards 10 by 10, that's perfectly fine for me. I want to make sure I'm just getting into things on a monthly basis as I can. I don't want to put any pressure on myself that if I don't check all of these off that I've completed it, that I've somehow failed. I do want to get into Joanna Basford more. I do like her work. I want to do a group buddy color every single month. That's not technically a book, but that is a focus I want to do. I do want to do an Akuko page at least, and my friend Patty has been helping me with that. I didn't say this, but I do want to do a Zan Von Zed, and my friend Deb has been helping me with that. And then this new one I add, and I do have 2 more spaces if I come across something in this year, is Off the Shelf. And I had seen that on Tammy Colors 2 channel. And so what I plan to do is sometime during the month, use one of those apps where you can roll a number, just a random number generator, and it's going to be between 1 and 7. And whatever the roll is, I'm going to choose a book from that shelf. So in front of me, I have 4 bookshelves. On the side of me, I actually have a cubby where I used to keep my scrapbook paper, and it does have my Coloring Heaven and just large-sized coloring books. When I'm not filming, I actually have coloring books on my desk, and then I have coloring books at work. So the 7 is comprised of those different areas. And then that'll sort of be my funsy. If it fits for a prompt, great. But if not, I do want to get into the habit of coloring just for fun, because with the kind of time constraints that I have, a lot of times I'm focusing on Olga's or the Coloropoly prompt or my buddy colors, and I don't necessarily just pick something off a shelf just to color because I want to. And I'm hoping that this just gets me into that headspace that, you know, this is a fun hobby and I should be able to enjoy it the way that I want to and not feel pressured, because I know none of my buddy colors, either the group ones or the individual buddies, would ever have any kind of problem with me like, you know what, I just wasn't feeling it. I know that for a fact. So I'm quite intrigued by that. I've yet to actually pull something from the shelf or roll something, so we'll see how that goes. This is for some year-long hashtags. In my Hobonichi weeks, I do track hashtags that I'd like to follow on a monthly basis. I use hashtags to focus on pages that I want to complete, not necessarily because I want to post them to Instagram, although I do want to get better at that. The first part of this year has actually been super busy at work, and so by the time I get home, I either want to read or color, and I don't really want to deal with my phone or any kind of technology. But some of the hashtags that I'll be doing is, these first few ones are actually my own, is Tackle Your Treasures 2023. That means color in a coloring book that has at least one completed page, but no more than 5, and just to really enjoy your stuff. I am continuing Grogu in 2022. I'll go ahead and put a picture here of what the January is. I will need to film another video either this weekend or next weekend telling you guys what the February picture is. And again, I need to get back on my Instagram game. For the Morgan O Challenge 2023, or the Morgan O Color Challenge 2023, the color is light blue for January. Again, I'll be doing a separate video discussing what the color prompt is for February. I've got Coloring Your Star Zodiac. That's anything astrology based, zodiac based, tarot card based, any of that. You can use that hashtag. The Hannah K Treasure Hunt 2023. The prompt for January is Star. And some other ones that I always have in the back of my head is Color Your Hoard, and that's actually done on a monthly basis by Lavella and T, although I think I've only ever posted to that once. Meg's ABC Color Challenge, where she does color a particular letter every single month. For January, it was W. Definitely go check out her channel. Pixie is doing 2 year-long hashtags. So there's Complete Area Veil, and every month she chooses a page. And then she also does Pixie's Disney Coloring, where she chooses a little character, and that's the theme for that particular month. And then I believe it's Colorful Pirate that is doing Animals Doing People Things 2023. And so that would be like Nice Little Town would probably be the best example, where you've got your little interior, exterior shots, and then you've got little mice doing what people would do in that situation. So those are what I'm focusing on. And at the end of all of my completed coloring pages videos, I'll just go down the list and see what I've done and what I haven't. And I do like seeing it checked off. This is the one that I did for 2022. Again, some months were absolute misses, some months were absolute hits, but I do like to see just a log of things that I've done and focused on, and it does help me feel both creative and productive, and I do like that feeling. Now, this is something I decided to start because at the end of 2022, people were putting out their stats, and I don't do this to have a certain amount of pages done, a certain amount of books done, but I believe I saw Patty and maybe even Spicy, maybe Pixie Tammy, I don't know. After a while, everything runs together. But I loved seeing that they had a total amount of pages completed at the end of the year. I think it was Patty that was the most recent one that I saw, and she had done over 400 pages in 2022. Now, again, I'm not setting myself a goal, but that does make me think, okay, so I do have a lot of books on my shelves, and I don't get into them as much as I'd like because of work, life, and all the things. But I think it might be super interesting at the end of the year to say, okay, yes, I do have a lot of books, but this is how many pages that not only did I color, but that I enjoyed coloring for the entire year of 2023. So I've broken it up on a monthly basis. I just use a stamp that I picked up from Amazon. Now you might think this is Instagram, and it is not. So on a monthly basis, I want to track how many individual or small buddy colors that I've done with friends. So by that, I mean, Deb and I usually do a Zan Von Zed. We have one this month. Patty and I do a Ikuko page or two every single month. Pixie and Poet and Deb and I have a group buddy color. I have some with Poet specifically. I have some with Pixie specifically. I have some with Tammy specifically. And that's what I would track up here. For the group buddy colors, the G, that's something that's attached to a hashtag. For instance, my Grogu in 2022, I want to know how many I'm tracking, and that kind of goes to this. So Pixie's Disney coloring, if I finish that, that will count towards my group buddy color because there's a hashtag attached to it. The small group or individual ones, there's no hashtag. It's just me and friends just deciding what to do. I don't know if that's going to make sense. I don't know if I'm actually going to even like it, but I liked the thought of it. And so we'll see. And so I've actually got it on a 2-page spread here and here. It doesn't matter that it's not on the same page to me. I did not leave a space on the total amount of numbers. So at the end of this, I might need to do a stats page just to sum up 2023. And again, just use things in my stash. I do want a 2-page spread to look well together, even though these are two different things altogether, but I don't need the same thing to look the same. So that's why these colors aren't the same. And what was driving this page is actually the stenciling work that I did behind it several months ago. I also wanted to do a completed coloring pages, and this is really because of this stamp right here. Now, I don't know if you can see it. That might actually be better, but it's a stamp set that my brother gave me for Christmas, and this is actually from the anime One Piece. He did order this from Hobonichi. I don't know that it's still in stock, but I really wanted to use the wanted poster, and I couldn't think of anything else to do. And so I thought, you know what? This year I'll actually count the number of completed pages that I've done, and then at the end of the year I'll have the total amount of completed pages, because these numbers and these numbers will not match because I'm not necessarily doing all or only individual buddy colors or group buddy colors. Now this might seem like it's double work, and it might be. Again, I didn't do any of this in 2022, so I have no kind of historical reference or data, but again, it's really because I wanted to use that stamp set. And so that's why I've got this here. Again, these two pages do not feed off each other, but because they are facing each other, they do look similar in color and scope. I do want to do just a collage of my favorite pictures for 2023. I'm hoping this will actually help me at the end of the year. I've seen quite a few channels, most notably, at least to me, a Dual Robot, where she's doing her top 10 favorite books, purchases, things, that, and the other. I think she said it was going to be a 4-part series. And so I'm hoping that this will help me figure out what my favorite pictures are. So if I do want to do something similar, I can just pull them off the shelves, because right now I'm just looking at, I'm like, my shelves, and I'm just like, yeah, I'd have to go through everything. Although I do think I am going to be doing a coloring book collection video series just to kind of catalog everything I have so far. And that might be a good time to kind of also pull those books out at the same time, because I have a lack of space those things are quite difficult for me to do, because if they're off the shelves, then they're either on the bed behind me, because I do film in my bedroom, or they're on the desk, and that's not really conducive to filming. So yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about, and I just have to do lots of small videos instead of lots of long videos. I do have another Untouched coloring book listing here, and this actually gives me quite a bit of stress. So when I did the one last year, and that I did all of my Untouched coloring books as of May 2022, I had 21 books. Now I was able to get all books except for 2, and so I've carried those over here. Now this will be all of my Untouched coloring books as of January 2023. As of right now, I do not have, nor am I expecting, any coloring books from Amazon or whatnot, but I do have a few spaces here, and that should really be because when I was creating this, I just did all the lines. I wasn't actually counting anything. And I do want to make sure that I color at least one page in here, because as I've mentioned, and I will continue to mention, I would love to be a collector of coloring books, but I do not have the space for it. I actually have a rolling cart next to me full of supplies. I've got shelvings in front of me. I mean, basically any usable space I've used towards my various hobbies. That includes journaling and coloring, and then all of the supplies that go with that. And so I am at capacity. And so I will need to think about, okay, I know there's going to be coloring books that I'm going to want, but where exactly am I going to put them? This just helps me stay focused. Like, yes, you want the new things, and the new things are beautiful, but now for this Untouched coloring book listing, let me know if you want me to do a video showing you all of the Untouched books that I have, because I've just gone through my shelves and just listed everything on there. But if you actually want to see and have me talk a little bit about this, let me know, and I can certainly put that video together, especially since I have the listing right here. And then what I had done a few months ago is take some of my distress ink and a very large stencil I had picked up from Walmart, and had just done background page. And yeah, this is the last one that I've done. So the rest of these are just blank pages, and I actually really kind of like that. I like having the background on there because it brings some color. I do like seeing writing on a page, and then that also helps me kind of whittle down some color choices for the actual spread. Like I thought this kind of teal blue and the red would look really good together, and the orange and this green. And so that's kind of how the color palettes were chosen, just because what was already on the page here. And you don't actually really see the stencil. Like this one you can, but once I put some either stickers that I've printed with the pages that I've taken pictures of, or I use my HB Sprocket and use that instead, then it just becomes background noise and you don't really focus on it. And this is just the same stencil again and again. And again, I really like that. So I do have tons of blank pages here. And so this will continue to grow. If I think of other things that I want to do for the year, I'll do that. I don't track anything per se on a monthly basis, and any kind of group or individual buddy colors that I am focusing on for the month, I actually do in my Hobonichi weeks, because I always have that with me. This is more of an art project that I do to set up, and then I'll just put in numbers at the end of the month once I actually have that information. All right, guys, well, I hope you liked seeing this. It's kind of comprehensive and yet not, because I've been watching some coloring book journal videos, and a lot of them were just kind of very stats heavy and all of these things. And I think that's great if that helps you either focus or if you just enjoy the process. But for me, I know that there are just certain things I enjoy and certain things I don't. And I'm hoping this is something that I enjoy. If this ends up being more hassle than it's worth, then I'll just keep it blank and just look at a really nice spread, and then I'll know that for 2024. But it's certainly something I'm willing to give some time to, just to see if it gives me that feels of productivity and accomplishment at the end of the year that I'm hoping. All right, guys, well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.